everyone. In today's episode on cybersecurity, I'm so delighted to be joined by co-founder of Armor Cybersecurity and IceVR, Gilad Perry. Thank you for joining. How are you today?
Excellent. How are you, Harsha?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for your time. In today's episode, we'll talk about cyber awareness training. IceVR, as you know, is passionate about providing innovative cybersecurity training and is redefining the way it is delivered. So tell us more about IceVR.
Thank you, Harsha. So IceVR was really founded by myself, David Chernitzky, and Mahdi Raza. So we've been many years in the cybersecurity, and we've worked with the corporate industry, and I've gone through numerous training around cybersecurity, and they're all the same. They're all point and click. You go and you answer a few questions, and by year 2, year 3, you're like on automatic mode. So we really wanted to bring something that is unique. So what IceVR does, I stands for Interactive Cyber Education. Essentially, we do cybersecurity training, but in a very hands-on and interactive way. So we have actually a center that is in HAC, so we either do it in our location or come to a customer site. We have a combination of frontal, but talking to people about the risk, getting everyone to the same level. But then we go to a lot of hands-on components. So we do cyber hacking simulations. We show people how a hacker sitting in the Starbucks, the days we still had Starbucks and you sat in Starbucks, can actually use the public Wi-Fi, and with a very simple device downloading from the internet, you buy on the internet for $100, can now take control over your and see all your traffic. We have training over virtual reality. So we had Oculus devices where you actually go into a 360 simulation. You get immersed into scenarios. You're now sitting in a coffee shop. You're getting emails. You need to react to business scenarios, and through that actually training, we actually get people to really interact very interactively and go through. So what we have, like within a 15-minute training, you're actually getting much more than the standard an hour training that you usually in a classroom, where you're actually doing other stuff because you're now focused on the VR. And the third element, which is actually very exciting, we build 3 escape rooms. So we have escape rooms where people go and actually have to solve puzzles in order to exit the room. One of them is a home environment that has been hacked. The other one is an office environment that actually been hacked. And the third one, you're actually sitting in a hacker's point of view, and you actually need to hack and target to ransomware there and get the money from them. So really, by going through very fun and interactive games, you actually create, you have people able to compete against each other. You have people actually solving puzzles. And that's the best way of actually learning. When you're actually involved in the learning, you're actually gaining the most value out of it.
Yes, and escape rooms are sounds interesting, and we have seen gamification of training practices yields positive result. Because, like you said, many times we have seen cybersecurity training, if they are not sufficiently for the staff, or they find it difficult to understand, it becomes really difficult for the IT team to execute the risk strategies because they are not well versed or well understood by the employees.
100%. And again, we have companies, we had KPMG go through our training sessions. We had BMO going through our training sessions, and even and they loved it, and you should see. So it's a combination of a team building, but you're right, the gamification element just makes the learning so much more experimental. And by doing it, by sitting there and getting to be a hacker and actually being able to hack and ransomware someone, like there's a lot of fun and there's a game in it, but you actually learn how a hacker is actually thinking, and by that translating it into what you need to do in order to protect yourself.
Yes, and like it gives a more personal stake on how to deal with the situation, and it's really important to build a culture of security within organization, because if employees are engaged and the trainings are effective, you see the result. So like how training given via online platform or through VR gamification engages employee. If you can shed more light on, um, like you shared about gamification, escape routes. So, what are some of the practices that can help them in understanding the cybersecurity best practices?
Sure. So we've actually, again, thanks to COVID, had to a bit revector the approach. I think we know that people are not going to be comfortable with using maybe a VR in the short term, but we've
Yes.
taken a lot of the gamification elements that we have from the VR and actually put it into an online platform. And one of the very exciting platforms we're actually coming in the next month is we've created what we call a cyber league. It's a
Okay.
platform where an organization can create a competition within the whole organization, between
Mhm.
department, between people. Employees can actually go through the various scenarios that we had on the VR. Just now they'll be able to consume it on the web on the mobile. We're
Okay.
bringing the escape rooms into the web as well. So unfortunately, now it's not a team working against a target, competing with each other, but still you get to go through the exact same processes,
Mhm.
and we have quizzes, we have scenarios, but what we've done there is by having people constantly trying to getting more points and competing with each other and really wanting to, you can actually as an organization define your cyber champion, but also you actually as an organization can see where the shortfalls are, where the shortcomings are, where people are actually answering wrong, where you need to put the emphasis, because we as employees are the first line of defense for any
Yes.
organization.
Yes. And we have seen incorporating challenges or points, rewards, and leaderboards get employees excited and motivated to participate.
100%. And this is the whole point. We want the employee engaged. We want him to
Yes.
understand. So you asked me for, I think, what we're teaching them. For us, it's very important. We have a section in that league where we talk about the hacker's point of view. I mentioned it
Mhm.
in the escape room, but really understanding what a hacker is looking for and how easy it is for him to gain information. We're in a digital world. I have a LinkedIn
Yes.
account, I have a Facebook account, I have an Instagram account. The ability to collect points of data about us, understand who our friends are, and craft a
Yes.
very simple but sophisticated attack on us is very simple in order to get me to click on something wrong. So
Yes.
we have as part of the education, we talk about how hackers operate. We talk about some breaches that are happening in the industry,
Mhm.
and give the various perspectives so you can start to understand what it is, and hopefully someone playing in our league does not want to become a hacker, but that's really the objective. The objective is to
Yeah.
be very interactive and engaging, and through that you actually a fun and learning experience.
Yes. It's more of a people-centric approach to training. Yes.
100%.
Yes. And like when it comes to frequency of such trainings, like we have seen most organizations commit to one yearly security awareness training. Some they do when they onboard a new employee, and some they like overkill with monthly trainings. So, as per you, how often should employees go through security awareness training?
Okay, it's actually a very good point. Look, a training once a year in my mind is not enough. It's a minimum. On the other hand, we can't overload the employees too much. We're all very busy. We need to make sure that there's a proper balance. So having once a year, like maybe a bigger training, combine it with infographics that can go on a monthly basis,
Mm-hmm.
just reminding of the pitfalls that are happening. For example, we have a package of infographics that we send companies that come Christmas time, holidays, there's a lot of phishing because people are expecting for packages that they're
Yes.
ordering online. There's different attacks that are related now to COVID. There's previously attacks that are related to Valentine's Day. So,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't all have to be frontal training where you go through something. So there's an element of doing that, combining that with some phishing simulation that can be once a month, every 2 months, but making sure that we constantly feed the employee information and that is relevant. And it also has to be actual. So if send
Yes.
information about, tell them about the attacks that are going to come before Valentine's Day, but don't send it a month after Valentine's Day. So there's timeliness and relevancy is very important, because then you actually keep the interest of your employee.
Yes, and thank you for bringing this up, because along with training, there are other ways also, like you said, infographics, programs, and other ways. And then there are occasional trainings, like on special occasions when we see a increase in phishing attacks. So, like right frequency and right time and right information. It's really very important, and we have seen the impact of all this in an organization that adopts such practices. And as we all know, like humans are the weakest link in security. And phishing, all it takes just one click of a link or replying to an email that is requesting a confidential information, and a data breach happens. So an effective cyber education program is meant to train employees to understand how to help defend the organization from attack. So, what are some of the topics to cover in employee training?
Okay, so understanding how to recognize a bad email, I think that's the given. I think that the first thing we tell people is about being suspicious. Okay,
Yes.
first of all, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. You'll be surprised at still how many people would click on the. You send a free coupon,
Yes.
and your click rate goes up through the roof, right? And hackers are actually very good at understanding human nature and exploiting it. We've seen with COVID. I think just today, I think there was a few articles that Microsoft actually took down several websites that were very sophisticated phishing related to COVID, right? So
Mhm.
with COVID, hackers have been actually exploiting human fear,
Yes.
the need to know information, uh, stuff like emails with that come from the World Health Organization.
Mhm.
So so when we so one of the things that I like talking to people to understand is first give them a bit of a perspective of how easy it is for someone from the outside. So we always like to showing them examples on each one of us. You open the information we share on social media, right? Um, if I went to a party or I went to a conference and I posted I was in a conference, and it's LinkedIn and it's Facebook, and you can see, if it's today with the way social media works, it's you click on the link and you can see anyone that else was in that conference. For me to come
Yes.
and write you a note and say, hey, we met in the conference, I wanted to follow up, it was very good to meet you. You go to a conference, you meet so many people, you definitely don't remember if you spoke
Yes.
to that person or not. Would like to connect. So what we talk about is explaining them that part of what hackers are very good at is actually creating a lot of social references in
Mhm.
order to put the defenses. If I write you and say you don't know me, that's one thing. But if I write a note and say, hi Harsha, I'm a friend of so and so. I know you're a friend. You're in LinkedIn. You're in Facebook.
Yes.
I know they made the match. I know that you're friends. He recommended I contacted you. I am in the cybersecurity industry. You're in the cybersecurity industry. Actually, I have a job posting or something that will be relevant for you. The more points of reference I give you, your defenses are going to go down. So what we like doing in the cybersecurity training is first thing to explain how hackers think, how hackers operate, especially when it comes to us as human nature, so
Mhm.
people understand it. And then we show them examples, and then we teach them how to look for clues that something might be a phishing or. So that's the
Yes.
first thing. The other thing we tell them that we have actually a lot of tools as an organization to protect them against them. Yeah, the stuff like two-factor authentication that is basic, but again, it's something that supported by almost every program today. But
True.
that percentage of it used by organizations is very low. So I like explaining how hackers operate, what they actually do, and then ways that you can actually defend yourself with very basic tools, things that you have within your organization that you
Yeah.
don't even need to do high investments, right?
Yes. Yes. It's all about changing the mindset and changing the way we work.
Exactly, and you're in the IoT industry, right? So you go to a building, and there's all these IoT devices. How many people go and change the default password on the IoT?
99% uses the default password.
Exactly. So is it a hard thing to
Yeah.
protect? Do you need to do a big investment? No, it's a matter of having some common sense and practices, but we need people
Yes.
to understand that, if you don't do that, how simple it is for me to go and jump into your camera, and from the camera I'm in your network, and from there it's game over to the organization.
Yes, and many times we have seen like systems on public IP. You do a showdown, you get the IP, and then all you try is the default password of the system.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, we have through our cybersecurity, we do projects. We help customers in incident response. Right.
Yes.
It's not uncommon for us to complete an incident. We are changing everyone's pushing a change password in the organization, and the first person that goes in to change their password, Amy123. And
Yes.
we were just down for 2 weeks because of an incident. And what have we learned? That the password is Amy123. This is part of the challenge, right? Like, that's why the
Yes.
human element is so important. That's why it's
Yes.
important for people to understand. Okay, you use your personal Amy123. Guess what? That's what the hacker would first thing he's going to try. He's going to brute force into your organization.
True, true. Yes, and those are really valuable insights because changing some practices and just following the guidelines can help us be more secure and less prone to such kind of attacks. Yes. Thank you, Gilad. Thank you for your valuable insights.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. To conclude, I would say security awareness training shouldn't feel like training. It should be embedded in your company's culture. Thank you.
Thank you.